Ladies and gentlemen, it is TAE Media here again with some supernatural, This is a 14-year-long show, and I do want to cover it during the season and stuff, and I've been watching it since, season 6, and I've been following it ever since. I never fell off the whole, watching Wygen just because they did something I didn't like, or, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I feel like this. God, I'm tired. This is the season we've really been waiting for almost 10 years. It sounds crazy, but the storyline we are jumping into for season 14 is Dean is possessed by Michael. Or not possessed, taken over, I don't know. But, yeah. The episode titles are out for the first 7 episodes. They all look kind of promising, but that happens every year. Like, they release the first 5 titles or first, I don't know, 3 or 6 or, whatever titles, just to, I don't know, hype people up or make you think. I have no idea. The season itself is looking pretty good. They mentioned at Comic-Con and stuff that this is going to be a very different from, Sam and Lucifer and his possession back in season 5, and it's going to be different than, apparently it's supposed to take longer to heal Dean, or bring him back than it did for the Demon Dean that everybody was very disappointed about, kind of including myself, because it was only a 3-episode arc. And we're going into season 14, and they're always pulling something out of the hat, whether it's turning Dean into a demon, the darkness, the Mark of Cain, Jack, Lucifer somehow turning good then evil, then good then evil, or you know what I mean, basically pulling the wool over our eyes and then taking the rug out from under us. And for season 14, we're jumping into this whole new problem, really. It sounds like something old, but it's really something entirely new, It's not Michael from this dimension, so apparently we're supposed to get a different look at, what this Michael was supposed to be like, at his personality, at his ambitions, his goals, what he wants the world to be. We really seen the apocalypse world on the other side of the dimensions, but we didn't see, what Michael thought the perfect world was, I guess. He probably said it somewhere in season 13, but we never really got to see him envision it. I assume now that's what he's definitely going to be on. He's got Dean, the perfect vessel. He's theoretically he's supposed to be unstoppable. Which was the whole point of them saying yes to Michael and Lucifer in season 5. They're supposed to say yes to their vessels so each could be unstoppable in their own way, and it seems like we're going down the path of they're not going to, the killing Dean isn't even going to be an option, apparently. That's what I'm reading on most sites and most theories, that killing Dean isn't even close to an option. Eventually, they'd say it for dramatic effect, and maybe we should just kill him. Apparently that's not even a avenue that they're going to explore in the anywhere in the season, and I kind of like that. We're at the point where we know how unhealthy the relationships on the show is, and we know that we've done everything really in an emotional relationship way. We've done everything that you can really do for the show itself. We've done everything that you can take. You can take like in a melodramatic fashion, and so I think we're gonna skip past all that BS of should we let Dean survive? Should we make this the way to go regarding Dean? And I think we're going to throw all that crap that Sam and Dean, all these conversations that Sam and Dean have had in like seasons 6, no, they weren't doing that in 8, 6, 9, and 10. I think was the last time whenever the seasons where one of the brothers is infected by something or afflicted by something, where they have that stupid discussion of, oh, maybe we should just put him out of his misery. They're not going to do that at all, or allude to that this season. I'm pretty sure. And while that's all good and dandy, we do have the problem of how many people are we going to let Michael destroy? Is he going to try to purify the planet? Is he going to destroy half of it for whatever? Is he going to enslave it? There's no. The only shred of personality we really got to see from Michael is the whole his outfit. Like he's dressed from like the what decade is that? The 40s, 30s? Is that what it was? I don't remember. The hat and jacket, and that's really all we got in terms of what he's supposed to be thinking or doing or whatever the thought process is for him. And I'm talking so much about Michael and Dean because that's going to be the big chunk of the season. It's basically going to be between Sam, Jack, Dean, Michael, right? I think we're supposed to have like 2 episodes. Is that what they said? 2 episodes or so focused on the new hunters, Apocalypse World Hunters. But I'm pretty sure like the majority of the first, what I presume to be, I'm gonna say 5 episodes. They said it's longer than Demon Dean. I doubt they're gunning to do more than 7 or more of Dean and Michael. I definitely think it's just like either 5, maybe 6 episodes that Michael is in Dean, let alone still around. And I really think that we're going to. I don't know what surprises we're going to do. A lot of people just think we're going to retread season 5, and the fact that Michael wants to bring his own version of the apocalypse to Earth instead of actually saving. Like the big twist is going to be he wants to end humanity's flaws or something like that. I read that theory somewhere. And while I agree that there's going to be some big twist and Michael's probably going to be involved, I doubt it's going to be Apocalypse 2.0. I feel like we've done, the Apocalypse storyline so many times. Pretty sure, like, it was season 12 and 13, a big focus was, the Apocalypse being brought on again or something like that. And I don't... And we had the Apocalypse world. We already seen the outcome of the Apocalypse. We really don't need to retread that storyline. Although I don't mind keeping... Michael and Lucifer around. A lot of people are sick of Lucifer. I'm indifferent to Lucifer. I'm pretty sure he's going to be back. I doubt he's in the empty, right? Or if he's even dead. If he's dead, he's in the empty, and I doubt he's gone forever. If not, he'll be back. Jack's power was able to reach Cass from the empty. I really think Lucifer's, Jack's graces and Lucifer. I really doubt Lucifer can, find his way out the empty. I think that was made a point for a reason in the early parts of season 13. So I really don't think Lucifer's gone for good. The empty is obviously a big. It's called a cosmic entity in the show. It is supposed to be back, I believe, this season. I think that's a thing that we're supposed to do. I think the biggest storyline we're doing this season is going to be Apocalypse World Hunters. Actually, I think they're going to be a minimal part of the first half of the season because they're going to be a big part in the middle and probably going to be the big part in the end of the season. I think they're all going to die. I think, by the way they all move like a good unit. Like, you didn't see nothing bad at the surface level in Season 13. I think that's really going to change for a lot of them going into the next season because it's that whole becoming a hunter thing, that Sam and Dean are able to balance and work, or live in the modern world and work, it's that thing. And I don't think it's the Gordon Walker problem, right? They are going to face that problem, I think, and I think it's going to be probably boring, I mean, psychology-wise, it's going to be good, but we've already seen it, technically, and I don't really need to see. I really don't want to see Sam and Cass and Jack essentially babysit all these, grown adults who aren't going to face nothing like Michael in the regular supernatural world. And I really don't think we need to delve into all that, good, 60% of the 70% of the season is going to be, Monster of the Week episodes. We're going to get a lot of, is it guest characters? Is that what they said? They said guest characters, I believe. We're going to get so I imagine, but how they mean when they say guest characters, I imagine we're talking Rowena, who's already, and I don't think Gabriel's coming back. I have no idea why they killed him off. I don't think he's coming back. But we might see the actor in some capacity, I believe. Him, we might see God come back. I doubt it. But I wouldn't doubt it, you know what I'm saying? Rowena. There's been a couple of guest characters that we've left in this, this new strive of the series, like seasons, 10 through 13. We've had new guest characters come and go. I think we're going to see a good amount of them this season because we're really not on the whole. If you notice, for the big myth arcs, like, the Apocalypse or the Darkness or, Apocalypse World, we really haven't invested a good amount of, characters that we just don't see anymore, like Garth. When Garth wasn't around for, I don't even know if he was around for, he was already a werewolf by season 9 or whatever, but we haven't called him in, for anything like, the Darkness or the Apocalypse or anything like that. I don't think Garth's coming back, but it's characters like him that we haven't, seen so much. I think our main guest appearances have been Rowena and Gabriel, and I think they're gone. I mean, they're not gone. Gabriel's gone. Rowena's not. I've seen a lot of theories out there that Rowena is going to have Gabriel's baby this season. I don't know about that. I don't really think we need another Archangel Nephilim storyline. I mean, maybe we'll get that. I don't think. I mean, we spent a lot of season 12 on that. I don't really think we need another one. You know, I don't think we need any type of Angel storyline at all this season besides Michael and Dean. That's it. You know, I don't care about Heaven falling apart. I don't care about the Angels and all that. The Angels have been dicks for God knows how long, and I don't feel any sympathy for all the Angels, you know, who act like, you know, who have is the same thing as I think when the demons were the Crossroad demons or whatever, the demons that were about to get, you know, destroyed by Lucifer. Like, I did not care when they brought them up and they were supposed, you know, they were on the Winchester side or whatever, but I still don't care about the demons. Like, I don't care about the angels either. The plotline of them, they've been a main fixture in the show since season 5, you know, or season 4, and we don't need, you know, these super myth arcs where they're involved. You know, not super myth arcs, but the, you know, main myth arcs. I don't care about Heaven falling apart. I really don't. Shutting down. You know, I don't care if Hell shuts down. It's not. We've already done this so many times. I feel like we can explore new ground. I think with the Dimensions thing, we can explore tons of new ground. You know, send Sam and Dean into another dimension for an entire season. You know, not Apocalypse World where there's we barely explored. We didn't explore none of the monsters really. I don't think there was like that one goofy looking demon, like Buffyverse looking demon, in the season finale, season 12 or whatever, and we didn't really get any explanation on them guys. We didn't really delve into the bad place at all. We didn't really delve. I mean, we did for like an episode, but that was just like glimpses of Sam and Dean in there. We didn't really get any of the other dimensions. I'm not saying I want like the rest of the series to just be a different dimension every season, but we can definitely get a different dimension for a season. You know, like how would the Winchesters deal in a whole new world? You know, like a whole new world, a whole different rules. Like instead of for an episode. Then when they come back, you know, you see how the world's been without them for a year. I mean, it might be destroyed, it might be taken over by angels or demons or, you know, the whatever's left of the pagan gods. I don't know, you know, but just, you know, take us into a little bit of a new area. I know everybody begs for something new, you know, every season, and I think we've gotten creative stuff in the last couple years. I do. I just think we need to step into a entire new, not a new genre, you know, this isn't Riverdale, but step into a new fight, maybe, you know, like, you know, we did try with the Men of Letters, British Men of Letters, but that was like so, I mean, because it took such a backseat to the whole Lucifer and his, you know, Jack plot, and it really didn't feel like anything, you know. It felt like almost like the side plot, and we didn't really. It was just like the alphas in season 6, you know. It didn't feel like it worked in the end, and I feel like we can step into a new. You know, like Sam and Dean don't need to go up and get against the government, but you know, maybe they could go up against something else in a different country or something like that. I don't know. You know, like just give me something that we didn't really expect to see the Winchesters go at, you know, maybe this late in their life, maybe this, not this late, you know, but like, you know, this much later in their life, or, you know, something they haven't battled at all, you know, because there's stuff out there. Everybody's like, oh, they fought everything, oh, they've, you know, done all this, they've done everything there is to do in the last 14 years. No, they haven't. You know, there's all kinds of stuff they haven't tackled and they could tackle, if they really want to. So I think, judging by the episode titles, that we're going to get a stellar opening for the season. Kind of like last year. They really, I think they really did a good job last year opening the season with Jack, and keeping that plot to a sharp bind. Jack was really just just exploring his character and just exploring his chemistry and relationship with the Winchesters was a big fixture in the first couple episodes, and in the first, even in with Cass. There's like the Cass episode where he came back, and then he was integrated back into the group with the Jack and the Winchesters, and it was good. I think it was a really solid start. When they focus on one thing and they let everything else build off of that, it really works for the show, and it really works even for the Monster of the Week episodes. It really works. Like I think season 11 worked well, in spite of like the darkness being this big evil that we didn't really see for half the season. We still built everything else around the darkness. So the side plots with Lucifer, the side plot with like Rowena, the witches, and Crowley, and Lucifer, all that built up to that crescendo, and it really worked. It really felt balanced, and I think that's what last season mostly felt like. I think it got muddied a little bit in the second half, but it all came together. Really, we had to fight Lucifer in the end, and it made sense. No matter how tiring Lucifer being the big bad in the end feels, it worked. And I think that's gonna be the same this season. I think we're gonna build off Michael and Dean and keep going. The title of the first episode is Stranger in a Strange Land. Is that what it is? That's what I believe it is. And the second episode is Gods and Monsters, which has been used as a title for so many episodes of so many shows. I am surprised we haven't used that title yet in Supernatural, especially considering the show itself. I assume we're gonna be like in the full frontal and the Michael / Dean stuff, and I think we're gonna get the big myth arc like plot there. The Scar, I'm not positive, because this sounds like a lot of people have come up with this stupid Mark of Cain theory. I really, really, really doubt the Mark of Cain is coming back this season, because one, we just got rid of it. I mean, we didn't just get rid of it, but it feels like we just got rid of it. And, this is the end of season 10. It's been 4 years, but we don't need the Mark of Cain back just yet. And there would be no reason, it was the purpose of it was the lock for the darkness, and darkness is free with God, so I don't understand where the hell the Mark of Cain would come from. I did read that it was about some movie about a ship, or something. If something that related to the age that Michael seems to prefer, the decade that Michael seems to prefer. So that's probably related to him in some way. Which, if it is, that's 3 episodes into the big cliffhanger of the myth arc with Michael and Dean. Mint Condition is the 4th episode title, and I don't understand exactly what it's referred to, because it could be referring to Michael or Jack, or like Cass or Gabriel coming back. I don't know. It could literally mean anything, but the fact that it's an episode title means it's obviously the big focus. And so if I had to narrow it down, it's either Jack or the something to do with like some stupid Monster of the Week episode. If the Michael episode is or if the Michael arc is done by now, which I'll be disappointed if it's done in episode 3. but it could be. Uh, Episode 5 is Nightmare Logic. I don't have any clue what that's referring to. I've heard of the obviously the two words put together before, but I've never, I don't know of a project or a film or anything like that of the same name. Uh, Going off a hunch, I'd say it's about, you know, I'm still gonna say it's Jack. I think Jack's gonna be dealing with a lot this season, especially with his grace being taken away. He's a human. He's going to. I'm sure Sam and Dean will obviously be showing him the ropes, but Castiel can be showing him the rope, the transition from all powerful being to human. I really think that's going to bond Cass and Jack this season. I think Jack is the best thing to come out of season 13 by far. Everybody loves the actor. I love the actor and the character. I think they're both. I think they're just both great additions to the show. They definitely feel like they filled that void. Will not fill it completely, but they do help with the void that killing Crowley left with the show. I think this works. Curious Cravings is the name of the 6th episode. Definitely sounds like a Monster of the Week episode. I assume, like I said before, that the Michael arc is done by at least episode 5. At most, it's going 5 episodes. That's cool. If that's happening, maybe. And then episode 7 is Unhuman Nature, right? And it sounds like probably it sounds like something to do with Jack, if not, it's a Monster of the Week episode, but episode 7 is usually takes another step in the myth arc direction. If I'm going by previous seasons, it's could be Monster of the Week episode as previous episode 7s are, but it's usually Monster of the Week plus some of the myth arc, so I assume that's what we're going to be getting. I don't know if Alexander Calvert is a season regular this season, or series regular this season. I don't know if he's going to be, in every episode with the Winchesters, or, in partial episodes like he kind of was last year. He showed up for a lot of the first half of the season, and in the second half he was, there sporadically. Mainly because probably they don't want to break up the undying, if it's not broke, don't fix it, and that's pretty much what Sam and Dean are with the Monster of the Week episodes. You got to throw in at least 6 or so episodes of just them two hunting, in the season. I understand that from not just the marketing standpoint, but from a showrunner standpoint. You have to throw in it really is the core of the show, just them two hunting, whatever big bad of the week it is. So get ready to have at least 6 or more of those in there. That's all 7 episode titles. I don't really feel like we're going to have this giant I'm blanking on what I'm trying to. I don't think we're going to have this giant outstanding season arc like we did with the parallel with Apocalypse World. Super arc is what I like to call it. The apocalypse, the apocalypse, the darkness. Demon Dean kind of felt like a off the cliffhanger. It felt like a super arc, but obviously wasn't. But them three, and obviously the Apocalypse World, super arcs, and I feel like we're not getting that this season. We just did one, and usually when they just do one, we don't do one the next season. We do have Michael and Dean, but I don't think that's going to be. I think that's just going to be Michael. I really do. oh yeah, get ready for, OG Michael to not be in this season. I really doubt they're going to bring him out. I don't know why they don't bring him out, but they're not bringing him out. Almost guarantee it. Like I said, Lucifer's a maybe. It's pretty much going to be. It's pretty much going to be a giant continuation of what happened at the end of last season. Is what I'm pretty sure of. With just Michael in the sights of Sam, Cass, and Jack. I really want to hope this season breaks breaks expectations and really brings back the not Supernatural. If we're being all honest, it's not like appointment TV to where you have to sit down at the 9 o'clock hour and watch, or 8 o'clock hour now, and watch the show. But it is it is back at the point where you want to see it every week, no matter what. Like I said, I never really stopped watching it weekly. I think if I missed episodes, it's been one or two, and then I catch up. This show's never been, in my opinion, what a bad show is. It's always been steady, at least. It's been top tier TV to me at points, and I think now it's at a point where it almost Supernatural isn't like your what's the I don't want to say Game of Thrones because that's way too what it is. Supernatural isn't what the Vampire Diaries was a couple years ago. It's not where you have to oh man, you have to call your friend or whatever and ask him what the hell is about to happen. But it is it flows so well. It's a steady thing. It's a sure thing. It's what you it's what you want all the time, no matter what, because it's always it feels like it's always. I guess it's like the undying fan joke that it's always going to be there, and it really feels like it's going to always work for you. And I feel like that's what Supernatural is. I don't think they're going to let anybody down, that feels like that in season 14. I think it's going to be more of what we've seen, and obviously a little different. 300th episode is coming this season. I don't know. They said they didn't say anything in Comic-Con about anything about 300th episode, besides the fact that the showrunner has a plan. They did not reveal anything else. Apparently they have a plan. So I hope to talk about the 300th episode more when they have any details about that come out. As far as I'm concerned, I really don't have a prediction on what the hell they're gonna do for a 300th episode. They go above and beyond to do some crazy stuff anytime they want. I assume they'll have a meta episode this season. They have one almost every season. I assume they'll go there again. They haven't had nothing that's crazy announcement worthy like they did with the Scooby Natural stuff last year, but I'm sure they'll find their way to that. The 300th episode, I don't know if I want it to be a giant myth arc episode or a giant celebration or a giant goof around episode like fan fiction was. I don't know. I don't know how you play it if you're a 14-year-old show. I don't know if you play it super deep into the myth arc and it's mind blowing. I don't know if you play it into the whole. It's something that they all know will love, or if it's something goofy and out there, like the musical. So, I really don't have no forward thinking with the 300th episode. But that's really all that's coming in season 14 of Supernatural, from what I can tell. Sam and Dean's Sam and Dean's relationship, despite Michael, possessing Dean, I really don't think, they're going to feud or have some kind of grudge, after Dean gets back. I think they'll, have the same steady bond that they've had in these last the 2 or 3 seasons now. I think a lot of people hated the feuding that they had for that 2 or 3 years in a row it was, and I think the show is trying to stray away from Sam and Dean, having the infighting that they usually do. If they keep secrets from each other or whatever, they'll, reveal it within the episode, within a couple episodes. I think the brothers will be steady this season, like they are almost every season, I think. That's what's best for the show as well. Sam and Dean being on the same page. Once in a while, maybe, in one of these seasons they'll feud again, and it'll be fun. I liked the season 4 feuding. I think that was a good storyline. I think it was it was really the first time it felt like they were 1v1 against each other, and I think it really worked. I think the infighting they kind of had in season 5, was a little drawn out. I think the infighting they had really wasn't really infighting in season 6, but I think the infighting they had in season 8, or not 8 kind of worked too, a little bit. Season 9 though, the season 9 stuff in 10 is really what, pissed people off, and I kind of agree. It was a little too much by that point. It was kind of stupid, and I think they've cleaned that up in these last 3 years. I think we'll get more of them on a steady same page in season 14. And I hope that, it stays, Supernatural stays as is, and it stays, good to great every week. Keeps me watching, as I have no doubt it will. I have no doubt it will keep tons of people watching too, so I'm hoping it stays in that direction. And that's all I have to say about it for now. When the season starts in October, I will most likely be covering the show, weekly. Depends how it looks, but I have no doubt, I'll be interested enough to really throw out some thoughts on almost every episode. This is TAE Media. I'm out. Peace.